In my hand, I have something very cool. It might not be for everyone, but it's a tiny, little modular drum synth, drum machine, and it sounds kind of interesting. So this here is the Kastle Drum from Bastl, and it's this tiny little experimental drum synthesizer. And it's totally not for everyone, and you won't find a section in this video here called "Who is it for? Is it worth getting?" Because if you're asking yourself those questions, I think it's probably not for you. But if you watch my video and if you think that it seems interesting, sounds interesting, or excites you, sparks your creativity in some fun way, then I think it's probably for you. So let's take a little look at it. So as you can see, it's very tiny, and you can power it using 3 AA batteries or using USB, it's a micro USB, to power it. It has an output here and I/O, so it stands for both input and output, which you can use to either say input clock or output audio through this little connector here as well. And in order to create sounds, you have these small patch cables, which you use to patch it together, and that way you can create different rhythmic patterns. Let me show you. So let's patch this little drum machine up here. So we have pattern here, and let's connect pattern to trig input. So we instantly get this little rhythm here. Now we have an LFO, it's a triangle. And we can take that and we can say control the pitch modulation. And using this knob here, we can change the decay of the sound. If we turn it this way, it just lengthens the sound. And if we turn it the other way, it applies pitch envelope. Using this knob here, we control the drum sound. This one controls the pitch. This one controls the tempo. And this one is tempo modifier, pitch modifier, and drum modifier. So pattern basically generates a pattern, an LFO, a triangle LFO, clock, square, or pulse wave, and then we have a noise generator as well. So using this knob here, we can change the sound. So you can hear how there's almost like a ratcheting going on. That's because I connected the noise output into the trig input as well. So we have two different modulation sources going into the trig input. And what I really like is that you find these small sweet spots now and then, and it's just good fun. It's of course very random, you're never quite sure what you'll get, but sometimes you find something like this, which is nice. And in terms of connectivity, you can use the I/O here to clock the unit using, say, a synth like the Subharmonicon from Moog, for example, sending clock into it, and then you take a patch cable and then you go from the I/O into the clock input. And as far as I know, there's no way to clock it using, say, the USB or using MIDI. So you're stuck with control voltages, basically. So let's listen to it together with the Moog Subharmonicon. So that's pretty much how you use it. Sometimes you come up with some really fun and exciting stuff, and other times it just sounds weird and random. But that's kind of the fun of it. Talking about whether or not this is worth it, if you should buy it, for this kind of product feels weird. It's just a fun, small form factor, modular drum machine. And if you enjoy something like this, if you enjoy the sound, if you enjoy the kind of randomness that you get out of it, the experimental nature of it, then I think it could be good fun. I also think that it could work very well to sample into, say, a machine or MC707 or MPC1 or something, and use the small rhythmic patterns and create larger beats in those machines, for example. So yeah, it's just a plain good old small form factor fun device, I think. And if that's something you're after, I don't think you can go wrong with it. But it's also not a product for everyone. It's not a product that will find a lot of use in most people's more standard synth setups, I think. So just keep that in mind. Take it for what it is and you'll enjoy it and you'll have good times with it. But don't expect it to be like the drum machine of your dreams that you will use for years and years and years and years in every song. As long as you don't buy it with that kind of mentality, then I think you're good. So thank you so much for watching this mini review of the Bastl Kastle. If you want to check out a more in-depth review of it or in-depth tutorial of it, check the link, because Bastl Instruments has made their own super in-depth video on this one. It's very, very nerdy. It explains everything that I haven't explained in this video here. So go and check it out. Talk to you later.